Evening, everyone, and welcome to the session. Good evening. Let's give it a few more minutes for others to join us. Welcome to the session. Hope everyone is doing great and excited for our first class. Good evening, everybody. Let's give it a few more minutes so everybody else can join us. We'll be starting at exactly 10 minutes past 5 p.m. Welcome to the class. Okay. We'll be starting soon. Welcome to the class. All right, I'm admitting others to join us for the class. Candleweb team members, please indicate so I can make you co-host of the event and you can admit others into the class while I organize it. Thank you.
Isaac, what was that you said?
All right, I've added you as a host of the event, Mr. David, so you can admit people to the class.
Awesome. Awesome.
So welcome everybody and good evening. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, that's awesome. That's great. It's good to have you here with
I
us
can
in
hear
our
you.
first class.
Yeah,
That's amazing. That's amazing. That's amazing. Welcome everybody. Welcome. I have a feeling it's going to be an amazing session with all of us over here. So I'll be sharing my screen. Please let me know if you can see my screen. All right, I'm doing that right now. Is my screen visible? Can you see my screen?
No, sir, I can't.
No.
No, it's not showing yet, Isaac. I'll let you know once it shows up. While you're doing that, I would like to congratulate everyone who got accepted into this course. We had a lot more people than we hoped to have. We were intending to admit about 100 persons, but we had more applications, so we had to admit more people. And what we are looking at achieving in this course is that every single person who will be participating by the end of this course, you would be able to understand what cryptocurrency is about, understand how the blockchain works, and then be able to find your way navigating blockchain-based applications in a way that you can better your financial life and journey. So welcome once again, everyone. Um, I think we'll just start right away. Isaac, your screen is visible now. I think you can start.
All right, that's awesome. That's amazing. So I'll be using a mobile screen for this class, even though that's not what I plan to use. But let's get started anyways. So today is our first class and crypto or blockchain basics course by Candleweb AI, and it's the first of many amazing sessions we have put in place for you. So I'll be taking the first course and the first class, which is the introduction to cryptocurrency, and we'll be focusing more on the differences between digital currencies and traditional finance. I'm Isaac Wilson, and I'll be a lecturer for today. So, cryptocurrency seems complex. Firstly, I believe most of us here are newbies. I believe also there are some people who have little knowledge about the crypto space. Please, can you all mute your mic so that there wouldn't be any disturbance or distractions? We'll be sharing this recording on our social platforms for people who weren't present so they can be able to keep up and follow up with us. So cryptocurrency may seem complex to a lot of us, but today we are going to try to make it as simple and as fun as possible. So what I want us to do firstly is many people see it as complex, but I want you to imagine the way you try explaining our current system of money, like our mobile banking system or our internet banking to your great grandparents. I believe they would see it as something that is very complicated. They don't know what's happening. But that's how many people feel about cryptocurrency. Our goal here today is to make sure we're able to break it down for you and you understand how everything works in proper detail. So by the end of this session, you'll be able to understand the history and problems of the traditional finance system we have. You'll be able to learn what cryptocurrency is and how it works, and you'll be able to identify the key difference between cryptocurrencies and traditional money. So let me give you a quick overview of what we are going to be doing here. So in this class, we'll be talking about the history of money, how money has evolved over time, and I'll be letting you see how money is just a concept. It's just humans coming together and deciding, okay, we want to improve this system or want to put this system in place as a medium of exchange. Cryptocurrency is actually just digital money that isn't controlled by banks or governments. That's what I want you to know. Forget about all the technical terms, forget about all the jargons. You know your digital money system, things like your mobile payment systems, your bank, your mobile banking app that you can use to pay for things, transfer to others, use for purchase of goods and services, or also like your ATM cards you can use for online payments, online purchases, and the rest. So cryptocurrency is very similar to that. It's just that it's not controlled by any centralized bank or any government systems. Instead of banks and all of this controlling it, we have a technology called blockchain. We will get in depth into all of this in other sessions of the class where we'll have other interesting teachers that will come and teach you more about blockchain technology and the technical aspects of it. But the goal of this particular class is to make it simple for you, have the basic introduction. So who here has heard about Bitcoin and what do you think it is for a start? Does anybody here know about Bitcoin? Have you heard about it? Please just unmute yourself and give us 1 minute rundown of what Bitcoin is. The mic is open to anyone who has an idea. Any volunteers?
Yeah, I have an idea about Bitcoin. Yes.
Okay.
Hello? Can you hear
Okay.
me? Okay,
Yes, I'm with you.
I know that Bitcoin operates on its own blockchain. Like it has its own blockchain.
Okay.
And yes, it was developed by Nakamoto.
Oh, nice,
Yes,
nice,
Satoshi
nice.
Nakamoto.
You have
Yeah,
quite a
Satoshi
good idea.
Nakamoto in the year 2010.
All right. All
Yeah,
right.
that's
Um, that's actually nice. That's actually nice. You have quite some good knowledge on what Bitcoin is then. So that's a good idea.
thank you.
Yeah, thanks. I kind of missed my slide. Give me a minute to get it back up.
So while Isaac is trying to locate his slide, has anyone here ever interacted with any cryptocurrency at all? Maybe Bitcoin, Ethereum, any of those?
GM, can you hear me,
Yes.
guys?
Yeah, you're very audible.
Okay, I'm Easy Trend by name. So, for the question asked, Bitcoin is a digital currency. It can be used to acquire goods and services around the globe. That is what that's my idea to share. Thank you.
Awesome.
Mm,
Thank you for that, Easy Trend.
that's amazing. Thank you very much, Easy Twin.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Let's take the last answer. Good evening.
Okay, I'm David by name. Bitcoin, according to my understanding, is a blockchain. Is a blockchain that was initially found by Satoshi Nakamoto, and it has its own coin called BTC, which is built on it. That's my basic understanding about Bitcoin, and it's also the first blockchain that we have.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. Round of applause for you, David. That's a very nice answer. Thank you, Easy Trend. Thank you, David. And thanks for the first person. I didn't get your name. So let's proceed and understand the traditional finance system starting from the evolution of money. So money have taken different forms over time, and I'll be walking us through it. Initially, we had the barter system, trade by barter system. If you remember back then in primary school, our teachers taught us about trade by barter, where our ancestors, if you had like cow and you wanted maybe rice, you had to take your cow and look for someone who had rice and wanted your cow in exchange. Then both of you would exchange. Or let's say, for instance, you have beans and you want rice, you don't have rice. You have to take your rice, look for someone who has beans, then you exchange. But that system was very inefficient. There were a lot of problems with that system. Firstly, there was no standard measure of exchange. It took quite some time. Someone always felt cheated, or it was also difficult going to look for who had what you want. It wasn't very efficient. So humans evolved and we came up with another system, which is we decided to start using precious metals like gold and silver for exchange. That was actually nice for a while. We enjoyed it, but as expected,
Isaac, you went off. I think maybe you have to unmute yourself. Isaac, I don't know if you can hear me, but you're currently muted. If you can unmute yourself.
oh, thanks for the notification. Can you hear me now?
Yes, you're very much audible.
All right, thanks. I don't know where you had me last or where I stopped, but I'll be coming back to the understanding of money and taking us back through the history and the evolution of money. So money have taken different forms over time. Okay, money is just a concept, and I'll be walking us through the history. Initially, from primary school, we were taught about the trade by barter system, which our ancestors used, where you exchange goods with each other or services. Where, for instance, if I had cow and I wanted rice, I had to carry my cow and go and look for who had rice and wanted my cow in exchange. Then we exchange the service. Or if I had rice and I wanted beans, I had to carry my rice and look for who had beans. Then we exchange. But that system was very inefficient for some reasons. For example, one person always felt cheated, and it was difficult looking for who had what you want that also wanted what you have to offer. So that was complicated, difficult. We evolved and we decided to look for a standard means, and we went to precious metals like gold and silver. So this gold and silver became a method of exchange. For some while we enjoyed it. It was nice, but that also came with its problems over time. For instance, it was too difficult to carry a big lump of gold within your pocket. It wasn't comfortable, and it was very obvious that you had money with you. Imagine carrying a big lump of gold with you walking around. You'll be vulnerable. Everybody knows you have money, so you are not safe. So we had to look for what can we do to make this better and improve. We always, as humans, we always look for how we can improve what we have. Then we went to metal coins, precious coins, things like gold coins. Instead of carrying the big lump of gold, we decided to start minting it into coins, metal coins that we could carry around. That was quite convenient. It was easier, and there was measurement standard. You'd know, okay, this particular piece of gold coin is worth this amount. For places that they didn't have gold coins, we're using normal iron coins. I think even in Nigeria, for those of us that were born within the mid and early 90s, we got the opportunity to actually spend this our metal coins like our kobo, even though that has lost its value now. But that system wasn't too efficient also. It got to a point you can't keep carrying coins around. It easily got missing. It made clanky sound, and it wasn't too comfortable over time. And technology also evolved. So we went to using paper money. We were able to print money on paper, and that's the current 500 and 1,000 naira and 200 naira notes, which we currently have like two different versions in Nigeria right now. That was the system of money we were born into and we got used to. But over time, the internet became a thing. For millennials, we were born in a system or in a generation where the internet caught up. And with that internet's evolution, money also became digital. We could start spending money through the use of our ATM cards. We could start spending money online, and all of that money took different forms. You could recharge your prepaid meter using money. You could pay for your DSTV subscription. You could recharge your phone. All of these are digital money forms. So money moved from the physical form to being online in the next phase. Then the current stage we are at right now is the stage of cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is a step from
I think Isaac got disconnected there. Well, yeah, he's going to join back very soon. So, going back to some of the things he talked about, I think he already mentioned, he's talking about the evolution of money, how we moved from the trade and barter system to using precious metals like gold and all of those. But I don't think any of us were around in that era when they were still using gold for trades. But I'd like to know how many of us here used the kobo. You were in school then, you experienced coins. You had coins in your pocket, maybe 1 naira, and they're just making a lot of sounds in your pockets. How many people here experienced naira? Is there anyone here who used the naira, who used the kobo rather, who used coins while they were in school or younger or something?
Yes.
Oh, nice. Oh, nice. Eja Victor said he did as
Yes,
well.
yeah, I did too.
How stressful was it? I think it was nice, but then it was stressful carrying it around.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I actually met some of the metal before it gets eradicated.
Mm, mm. Yeah, I think it was really nice then. I think we like 1 naira, we in school, maybe primary school or something. I think you could use that to buy yogurt or ice cream or something and some other stuff. But now, yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, you can see how much inflation can cause, especially when it comes to centralized finance or traditional finance, which is what Isaac will be talking about next. So yeah, let me hand it over to Isaac. Isaac, please, you can continue from where you stopped. Isaac, if you can hear me, I think you can continue now. We can see your screen. Oh, James, you didn't meet it. It was a good time. Trust me, it was a good time. I think if you had like 5 naira, you took like 5 naira to school, then you're a big girl or you're a big boy. But yeah, it went up to late, and I think we can see the full effect of inflation, especially when we're dealing with
Th-
centralized finance. Easytron, did you want to say something?
No, no, not yet.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
all right. Am I audible now?
Yes, you're very audible. You can continue.
All right, thank you very much. So next we'll be moving to traditional finance. So what is this traditional finance we're talking of? Mr. David have done a good job of giving us a little bit of explanation on what traditional finance is, but I'll be talking about the centralized system, CENTRALIZED, centralized system of money, which is the traditional financial system we are born to. And if you can see my screen, you can see the picture of the central bank. So you already have an idea of what we're talking about. So centralized system of money is the system of money that is being controlled by a central body or by a central government. And this is usually in form of banks. They issue the money, they regulate the money, they give other smaller banks, like the central bank, give other smaller banks rules and guidelines on how to operate and how to interact with customers, and help you keep your money. So this is entirely centralized. We have a central body governing and controlling the way you spend, interact with your money, and all of that. So we have the central bank at the top of the centralized system of money. Then we have our smaller retail banks like the popular ones like First Bank and the rest, which we all know, and they issue this fiat money to you, or they help you keep your money in your bank accounts or whatever. They take care of that for you. But this system has a couple of problems. Okay, the traditional finance system has a couple of problems, which is it's slow and expensive. Um, the banks stand in the middle of your transactions and they control everything. Your transactions and payments, especially if it's international, may take days. Sometimes it may not be days, it may take some while, it may hang, and you have to go to the bank and wait in a long queue in order to just get attended to. Or, for instance, your ATM card expires, just the current situation I'm facing. You have to go stand in a long queue for hours, or sometimes it may take days. High fees for transactions, especially if you're sending money abroad, cross-border payments, and block transactions. Sometimes you may do a transaction, it may be blocked. Sometimes the bank may decide to block your account if they feel you violate any of their rules, or they feel anything is not right. They may decide, they have control of the money. They may decide to stop your service. They may decide to block your accounts. They may decide to terminate your your account or whatever it is. So they stand in between and they control the system. They have too much control, too much power of the system. And that didn't feel right with a couple of people. That's why they decided to come up with the decentralized system, the crypto, the blockchain, and the rest, which we'll be talking more about. So let me give us my example, my analogy. So for instance, let's meet John and understand his struggles with the centralized system. Who here can see the picture of John?
Uh, I was about to say there's a John in the house. John, don't be offended. He wasn't trying to draw you exactly, but this is a true picture of John.
Sorry,
I
John, I'm
like his
not good at
glasses.
drawing. Yeah, thank you. I'm not really good at drawing. I tried my best, but this is John. John wants to send $200 to his girlfriend in Nigeria. Let's take, for instance, John is in Canada. He japped or he got a tech job abroad. He's working abroad and he wants to send $200 to his girlfriend. Let's call her Amaka. I hope there's no Amaka in the class. So he goes to the bank to send the $200 to Amaka. But unfortunately, the bank says it's going to take 3 days for them to process the transaction. And Amaka needs this money urgently. So the bank charges him $20 first of all in order to send his $200. That's 10% of the money. Imagine, that's ridiculously high just to send $200. Then the transaction gets blocked for security reasons. For instance, John is trying to send the money to Nigeria, they flagged the account or whatever. They decided to block the transaction. John is frustrated. His girlfriend needs urgent money. He's unable to send it to her. He tells his girlfriend he has sent the money to her, but she doesn't believe him. John is a liar. John promised me money. He didn't send it to me. His girlfriend Amaka got tired and she left him. So this is a case of John and one of the struggles he has with the current financial system. So I believe there are a lot of people who have interacted with maybe foreign transactions in this current class. For instance, apart from John's situation, we have people that have used PayPal. You know, the struggle in getting international payments, the struggle in just paying for services, where you're trying to pay for an online service and they tell you they don't accept Nigerian cards, or they don't accept Stripe payments that are not Stripe based, and you can't use Stripe in Nigeria, or you have to pay with PayPal, and PayPal doesn't support Nigerians. So these are some common struggles people like you, I, and John face, including John's girlfriend. Let's not forget about Amaka. So let's move on to cryptocurrencies and what it is. So like I stated at the beginning of the class, cryptocurrency is simply just digital money that isn't controlled by our centralized system like our banks and government. Cryptocurrency gives us that freedom from this centralized system. It gives you the freedom from all of the problems John faced with his girlfriend, and not just John, the other situations I gave, like the PayPal, the payment issues, the cross-border payments, the high transaction cost. Cryptocurrencies came in place to solve that issue. So it's just a digital money that is not controlled by banks and governments. For the other digital money forms I mentioned, like your um, credit cards, debit cards, like your um, DSTV subscriptions, your data plans you buy, all of this, the transaction goes through the banks. Whatever you do, it has to go through a banking system. The banks are regulated by central bank, and central bank is directly controlled by the government. So the key features of cryptocurrencies are: number one, it's decentralized. No single authority, no single body governing and controlling it. Secondly, it's peer-to-peer. What it means simply is you can do direct transactions with each other. For instance, I want to buy something. I'm scrolling online. I see a very nice shoe. I want to buy it. Regularly, the way it goes is I'll take my bank card, I'll put in the PIN, put in the numbers, pay for it. That transaction will go through my bank. Then the bank approves the transaction. They'll take their cuts, take their charges. The service provider will take their charges. All of that. It moves through a long cycle before it finally gets paid. But for cryptocurrencies, it allows you to interact directly with the person straight, pair to pair. You and I were able to exchange our money directly, no central body. It's borderless. It can go anywhere around the world in a second. I can transfer crypto now from my wallet to my friend in Germany, or to my friend in Russia, or to my friend in Canada, Morocco, Uganda, Botswana, and the person would receive it in a second, sometimes 2 seconds, depending on the blockchain. We'll get into the technical parts of it. But this is possible with cryptocurrency. If you are using, I've never used Western Union before. I've never used it, but I've seen a lot of people. Excuse me, let me take a drink of water. So I've never used Western Union before, but I've seen a lot of people complain about it. So before we proceed, please, Glory, share the attendance form in the group. Is that all, please? Our moderators and admins, please drop the attendance form. Just click on it. Once you click on it, it will, if you are signed into your Google account, it's very easy. It will just sign you in. Immediately you enter, that's all we need. You can also click the yes and submit it. If you have any feedback on the class, you can input it in the attendance form, and we would get that. So this is the first attendance out of the 9 classes would be taken. By the time we reach the 9th class, your certificate is guaranteed. We have a certificate for you. We also have interesting rewards. Also, the admins, please check if there's anybody in the waiting list to join the class. There were some people who were waiting. So, as I was saying, cryptocurrency is borderless. You could send it anywhere across the world and the person would receive it in a matter of seconds. And it is also secure. It is powered by the blockchain. We'll be teaching you more about crypto security, how to protect your assets, and more. In our later classes, we have Mr. Paul taking that class, if I remember correctly. So think about how email, the email you received to get your admission, or the email you received to notify you of your admission or the class or your submission when you apply to join the class. Think of how it changed the way we used to receive letters. I remember as a kid, I would see my dad and my uncle communicating. My uncle would write a letter and he would send it to my dad from the village. And it's going to take some days, and my dad would read the letter and you have to write and reply and post it back. Funny story. A little funny story. My okay, this is going to deviate us from the class. But I promise to tell you guys later on. I promise to tell you guys later on. We have a lot to cover. I'm still halfway through this slide. So if you can finish on time, I'll tell you the story. So how cryptocurrencies work. So cryptocurrencies are powered by technology called blockchain, which we've talked about. I wouldn't go in depth into blockchain technology. Our next class on Thursday, we have Onions Man, who is very amazing about teaching about blockchain. I've had him teach blockchain before, and my brain was just wow, very easy, understandable. You would enjoy the class. So look forward to that. Set your reminder. But in simple, blockchain is a public ledger. That's big grammar. It's just like Google Docs. If you've used Google Docs before, just like your Microsoft Word, but everybody can see what each other is doing in real time. If I'm working on the Google Docs, or if I type something, if I type A, the other person on the other side would see what I type. If I type B, whatever I write, or whatever message, or whatever I input into that document, the other person or the other people using that document at the same time or sharing the document would be able to see it in real time. That's how a blockchain works. It records every transaction that is happening. Just like, let's say, for instance, the banking system, I make a transaction, it's recorded. You can go back, you can see a transaction history, but that's just between you and the bank. And that can be modified, whatever they want to do at the back end can happen. But for crypto, it happens in real time. Everybody is seeing it. The record is open. Nobody can change it. Nobody can make updates. Nobody can try to twist the data or the information. And the result of this is that it's very transparent. It's a transparent system. Everything you do is transparent. They can see it at the other end. Everybody can say, okay, this is recorded. This is true. It is secure. It leads to security and it leads to trust. It creates a system of trust. So we'll be moving on from blockchain, and we'll be talking
Sorry,
about,
sorry
yeah,
for
Amici.
interfering, Isaac. Yeah, please, everyone should check the in-app messaging section. Lori has already dropped the Google form for the attendance. As you would, if you followed some of the updates we shared on the WhatsApp group, we need the attendance to know those who really qualify to get the certification that the course will be coming with. So please make out time to fill the form, or rather indicate that you attended this class while the class is going on. Isaac, please carry on.
All right, thank you very much for that, David. Thank you. So please look for the in-app chat session. If anyone has any problems finding that, um, I think the moderators will be there to guide you. So please look for it and make sure you fill the attendance. It's very important. So the difference between digital currencies and traditional finance system. Number one, control. I've explained this already, but I'll be taking it simply at this point. For the controlled traditional finance system, we have our central banks, and we have our governments rather, controlling our money. They sit on it, they direct the banks on what to do, how many percent tax they should charge you on every transaction, how many times they should cut your money. Let's say you send 100 naira, they'll charge you 50 naira. They'll still charge you card maintenance fee. They'll still charge you text message maintenance fee. They'll still charge you birthday message maintenance fee. They'll still charge you. So all of those charges, we have that system in place. They have too much control, but in cryptocurrency, it's decentralized. No single body or no single person in control, and it's community driven. That means a body or a community sometimes can decide what happens within that system. We'll talk more on that in later advanced classes. For the transactions, our traditional finance system are slow and costly. Remember John and Amaka. That's all I have to say. For cryptocurrencies, it's fast and low cost. You can send $1,000 to somebody in Morocco today, and you can get charged as little as $1. It depends on the blockchain. If it's some blockchain with lower fees, you can get charged as little as $0.3. It's still going to be the same $0.3 if you want to send $10,000 on the same blockchain. It's still going to be the same $0.3 charges. If you want to send $1 million on the same blockchain, it's still going to be the same charges. They are not charging you excessively. Sometimes some blockchain even have almost no cost for sending, regardless of how much you send. Imagine being able to transfer as much as $100 million and pay $1 as charges. If it was banking system, whoever was sitting when your transaction goes through, the guy don't blow for that day. Like, that's a lot. Your account manager will even be celebrating. So for security, the traditional finance system are prone to fraud risks, data breaches, and a lot of them. We've had some cases like that, which would not be talking much on, but we've heard of a lot of fraud cases. We've seen it in newspapers while growing up or along the road. Maybe this bank manager caught for fraud of so amount, or this money laundering, or whatever it is, or data breaches, data was leaked, and that
Yeah,
is why.
I think the easiest is I think we've had stories. We don't know where this happened, but we've had stories
Yeah.
of monkeys and snakes running away with some money. You know, on the blockchain there are no snakes and monkeys. So I mean, your money, your money is always
Oh
safe. So
yes, yes. Snake swallowed 36. Was it 36 million naira?
oh, I can't even remember how much, but I know that there are no snakes on the blockchain.
Exactly. So this happens with the traditional finance system, but for cryptocurrencies, it's very secure. It uses a technology called cryptography. We wouldn't be talking much on that for now. This is just the basic introductory class. Accessibility to access the traditional finance system, you need a bank account. You have to go to the bank, sit for days, create an account. I've had cases where I've gone to create an account and I have to go back to the bank 3, 4, 5 times. And I think it was just one of my bank accounts. I'm not mentioning name, but it was just last month I started using the ATM card after creating the account for like 3 years because I was angry. I created the account. I had to visit them 4, 5 times before they even started creating the account. They kept my form aside. But for cryptocurrency, you can just install your wallet and start using it instantly. As long as you have data to install your wallet, you are good to go. In 5, 7 seconds, you set up your wallet. You can receive any amount of money. You can use it to begin to transact and interact absolutely freely. Imagine that kind of freedom. Nobody is telling you to go and create a signature, bring 12 passports, take a picture of you dancing just to create an account for you. So for value, let's talk about value. Our traditional finance system and our money system, especially in within this side of the world, suffers inflation a lot. For instance, our naira, as of 10 years ago, I think a naira to a dollar, that was like 2015, was around 175 naira, if I remember correctly. Because I remember there was a phone I wanted buying at that time, and dollar to naira rate, it went almost to 200, and I was pissed. The rates got high. I couldn't buy the phone I wanted. It was my dream phone. After gathering money for months, I couldn't still afford the phone. Not that I didn't reach my target amount, but the phone increased in price, almost double within a few days. But for cryptocurrency, we have cryptos as assets. We've seen critical cases like that of Bitcoin, which I'll be showing you in the next slide, cryptocurrency as an asset. Like that of Bitcoin, which I'm showing in the next slide. If you look at the chart, I I think you should be able to zoom your screen on your ends. If you should be able to zoom the charts, you'd be able to see the price of Bitcoin and how it has increased over time. Bitcoin has a total supply of just 21 million. There's only going to be 21 million Bitcoins in existence ever. It's not going to ever go beyond 21 million. How about your fiscal or your fiat system, the current Naira we have? Every single day in Nigeria, they are printing money. It's just paper. They have machines that is printing it. The machines are working 247. People are working 3 hours and three different shifts. These people go off, the next people come on, they continue printing the money. These people go off, the next set of people come on, they continue printing. It's steady. It's just paper. They keep printing it. The value goes down on over time. You would hear of inflation. You would hear of naira going from 700 naira to a dollar to 1,500 naira to a dollar within three weeks, 1 month. So this is crazy. This is ridiculous. But with crypto systems and with Bitcoin as a critical example, we have seen how Bitcoin went from the price of $1 at its inception, around that rough price, to the current price of 90. I think last I checked, it was around $94,000 for one Bitcoin. So please, let me repeat this part. It's very necessary. We have seen Bitcoin go from $1, a single one, $1. If you should check this chart self I put here, the initial price, you can see it around 0 point something dollars around 2010. And as of today, that is worth around 90 something thousand dollars. So if you bought one Bitcoin with $1 as of that time, that your $1 is currently worth 90 something thousand dollars. You have a calculator, you can punch it at your own end. Don't unmute the mic and shout, you can shout at your side. So if you had bought just one Bitcoin and it's worth 90 something thousand dollars, convert that to Naira, it would be giving you almost 100 million Naira, if I'm accurate. So this shows you how much of an asset it is. Just think of this, compare it with buying lands, the way your parents will tell you they bought their lands at 50 Naira. And now that piece of land is worth like 20, 30, 40 mil. So that's how I want you to see this. That's a simple explanation of it. So we're almost at the end of the class. I'm rounding up now. The future of finance and why cryptocurrency matters. Okay, we have financial inclusion, access to money for the unbanked. Everybody can get started with cryptocurrencies fast and easy. Just like the example I gave you with creating your wallets. You can be able to create your wallet and start almost instantaneously. No restrictions, no borders. They wouldn't say, okay, you're in a remote village, then you cannot do cryptocurrency with us. Or no, your network is bad in this location. I think we have seen how network suffered me at the beginning of the class, even though I had to put multiple backup systems in place just to have this class. They wouldn't restrict you because of network. They wouldn't restrict you because of your age. They wouldn't restrict you because of your race or whatever. Everybody have access to this financial system. It's faster, it's cheaper, and the transactions are amazing. No more waiting for days, no more Amaka leaving John and all of that. Then we also have innovations like the Web3 systems, things like NFTs and the rest. We'll talk about those systems in later classes and later materials we'll be providing for you. So there are some myths in place where some people believe cryptocurrency is just for scams. I believe if you think crypto is just for scams, you wouldn't be in this class, right? Exactly. So everybody here actually believes in the system. That's why you actually had interest and decided to come and register for blockchain basics with Candleweb AI and join us on this 5 weeks intensive training session. Many businesses accept Bitcoin. We have even businesses and companies like Tesla. Now they're talking about accepting Dodge. I don't know if they've implemented that or if it's still running, but I think at some point I came across an article like that. Some people say Bitcoin and crypto is not real money. I've met people like that, but that was like 3, 4 years ago. As of right now, almost everybody is a believer. Bitcoin is real money. Too late to invest. It's not too late. Crypto adoption is just beginning, and I believe it's going to be a long period of crypto adoption, and we are just at the beginning of it. So there's a lot of potential I see in this system. So cryptocurrency is already being used in remittances. We've talked about this. You can use it to pay for goods and services, send money across borders at low fees. For investments, things like Bitcoin, which we talked about, buying Bitcoin at a lower price. If you're fortunate to know about it back then and you were able to grab a couple of Bitcoins for yourself and you sell it right now, you'd be at massive profit. For payments, Tesla accepts it, Shopify, other online shopping apps, and even online streaming platforms, gaming systems, and the rest, they accept it for payments. So, summary, a recap of what we've covered. Traditional finance, slow, costly, controlled by banks. Cryptocurrency, decentralized, fast, and borderless. Bitcoin is the first cryptocurrency, but now there are many others. There are many others out there. There are many, many, many other cryptocurrencies out there. And crypto isn't just a hype, it's actually solving real world problems. So money is always evolving, just like the internet have changed. We've seen how money evolved over time. We've seen the barter systems, we've seen the past systems like the gold coins, our normal coins, our paper system, our digital money, and cryptocurrency. Crypto is currently changing the way we interact and our financial systems. And it would be amazing that we catch up with this system on time and adopt it. So finally, I want you to meet John after John have attended our blockchain crypto basics. John got angry that Amaka left him because he sent $200. Amaka said she didn't see the money. Amaka got tired. Amaka left him for, I don't know, maybe another person. So John got curious about Bitcoin. He wanted to learn about blockchain and he decided to join blockchain basics for the curious, and he was able to follow through the 9 weeks, got his certificate. Now he can send money instantly. He knows how to use Bitcoin, he knows how to use blockchain. He now pays lesser fees. He doesn't have to pay 10% to send money that wouldn't go through. And he doesn't have to go through any delays or problems or challenges. He can conveniently transact at the comfort of his bed. So this is John. John found a girlfriend. They got married. They are living happily ever after, and they now have a bunch of Bitcoin and blockchain babies. So thank you very much. I'll be opening the class for questions and answers. So let's stop. You can mute yourself. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Or if you want to talk about John and his girlfriend, you can also unmute yourself. Let's discuss. So do we have any questions from your end? Please unmute yourself if you have any questions.
Okay, I have question to ask.
All right.
All right, Richard.
Okay, I, good evening once again. About the talking about the digital currency, how can it be possible? Everybody to be using it in everyday life, like using our normal currency.
There's some noise coming from.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, unmute yourself. Is it trend? Is the sound coming from you? The background sound, is it coming from you?
Yeah, I think from my side. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So talking about the digital currency. So how can it be implemented? We that are just coming up now. Make use of it, just will make use of normal currency, daily, daily life stuff, like for buying, using for daily transactions, just go with the normal currency. How can it possible as fast?
Is it trend? Can you type out your question in the in-app messaging section? Because of the background noise, it's kind of hard to make sense of what you're saying. So maybe you could just type it out and then I'll read it out to Isaac.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, that would be helpful. Thank you.
So I have question.
Awesome. All right.
All right.
I think the way we're going to do this is before you ask your question, please introduce yourself and then go ahead and ask your question.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know if I can pronounce your name correctly, but yeah, please, you can go ahead, Mohammed. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Please, I want to like a brief explanation about the blockchain technology.
All right. All right. Isaac, are you there to take that?
Yeah, I'm there.
I don't really get the question.
He
Muyiwa,
said,
I didn't get your
I
question.
like I need to, if you can explain the blockchain technology again.
he said if you can
Okay.
explain the blockchain technology um, one more time. I don't think he really got what you said earlier.
Oh, all
Yeah,
right. All right. So basically, I gave a simple analogy of the blockchain technology. I explained it like this. The blockchain is basically a digital ledger, a system that records data and information of everything that is happening on it, and it's open and everybody has access to view it and see it. That's the simple explanation. If you want to go with the technical explanation, they'll tell you it's a digital ledger system that records data and transactions on it. But simply what the blockchain does, right, is let me see a simpler way. Let me use like David's notebook explanation. David, can you take that explanation, please? I think you give it better using the notebook.
Yeah, sure, sure, sure. Um, I think for me to explain it, I would differentiate it between um, that's the blockchain, which is an open ledger, a digital open ledger, and then the closed ledger that your conventional banks use. So um, for the bank now, right? Banks use a closed ledger, and what I mean by that is, for example, Mohammed, if you should make transfer to me right now using your mobile app, right? Aside from you, me, and the bank, right? Let's say you're using First Bank, I'm using GT Bank. So aside from my bank, your bank, myself, and you, no other person will be aware of that transaction, right? But if it's on the blockchain, this is the power of the blockchain. It's open, right? Which is why they call it an open ledger. Anyone can go on the blockchain, right, and see that you have sent me money. The only difference is because of the fact that it's secure, where cryptography comes in, which Isaac mentioned earlier. No one would be able to know that, let's say, the wallet address that is receiving the money, which of course would have lecture that will cover wallet addresses, wouldn't know that, okay, yes, you're the one who sent me the money or any of those, right? And another good thing about the blockchain, right, which makes it very, very secure, which is the part of immutability, is the I like to use the notebook scenario, right? So, for example, if you have a notebook now, for example, right, and let's say for you to let's just use your bank, for example. So you could make a transaction, and someone, let's say, and someone writes it on the notebook, and then someone else can just go and tear out that sheet where your transaction has been recorded. And the bank can claim that you have not made any transaction, you have not sent any money to them, right? And for that reason, your money is gone. But for the blockchain, that is not possible, right? Which is where it got its name, blockchain, right? It's a block, it's a block of information that is chained together, right? So let's say, for example, um, let's use the same scenario of you sending me money and then someone tearing out that particular sheet from the paper that you sent me the money. Let's use the same thing now for blockchain. Now, the way blockchain works in that's different from your conventional banking system is this. Let's use the same scenario. So let's say before you sent me that money, let's say Isaac had initially sent Amaka money because I think Isaac is in love with Amaka. So he has sent Amaka money previously, right? And then after he had sent the money to Amaka, Amaka saw it, but Amaka said she didn't see the money and all of that. Then you now sent me money. This is, follow me on this. This is where the name blockchain comes in. Now, the way the blockchain would now work is it will take the information, the one that Isaac has sent to Amaka, and connect it to the transaction that you have made that you have sent to me. which means that for anyone in the bank now, let's assume it's a bank, for anyone in the bank now to tear out that sheet where your own transaction is, they would have to delete the transaction that came before Isaac's, that came before your own, which is Isaac's own. For them to still delete Isaac's own, they'll have to delete the one that came before Isaac's own, which is highly very impossible, very, very impossible, right? And very impractical because I mean it would be very, very easy to detect that okay, there's a fraudulent activity that has gone on, plus the amount of computation that is required for that. I don't know if this explains it. So the major difference is the blockchain is an open ledger. Anyone have access to it. Meanwhile, your traditional financial systems like your banks and other financial institutions, they use a closed ledger that they are the only one that have access to it. So they can get away with anything they choose to do.
Okay, I understand. So if I can make a reference, like for example, if you want to make P2P, is that the reason why, for example, if you have a pending order, you cannot make another order?
Yeah,
Hello?
so P2P is a little bit, um, yeah, I can hear you, you're audible. So P2P is a little bit um, different, right? So for that kind of stuff to happen in P2P, and for those that don't know, P2P when it comes to crypto and all of these things means peer-to-peer, right? Where um, two people are doing transactions together, right? So the reason why you might not be able to perform multiple transactions on a P2P system is due to the way, let's say the products, let's say you're using Bybit or Binance or whatever exchange out there. It depends on how they have developed their system because the transaction you're doing is going on within their own environment, within their own. So it's not exactly the same thing. Mohammed, I don't know if you got that.
Yeah, thank you very much. I understood now.
Awesome, awesome. Then I think let's cycle back to Easy Trend's question. Jamesy, I see your hand up, but let's cycle back to Easy Trend's question. Easy Trend said, how can digital currency be used for our daily life, right? I think we use daily more like it's right? The way we use our normal currency. Isaac, did you get that question?
Oh, okay. Easy Trend, thanks for the question. How can digital currency be used for our daily life use the way we use our normal currency? It's already in place. We have systems like that in place. For instance, I wanted paying for a service yesterday.
So I think Isaac is having some network issues. So Easy Trend, if you do not mind, I will take your question. So you're asking that how can digital currency be used for our daily life use? Yeah. Well, so the thing is, it depends. I think someone was said
Okay,
that
then, okay, am I audible?
yes, you're audible now, Isaac. Please go ahead.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, you're
Yes, you
very
are.
audible.
Facing network challenges. Can you hear me?
Yes, Isaac, you are audible.
All
You're
right, then
audible,
thank you.
Isaac.
All right, thank you. So Easy Trend, like I was saying, the text message service I sent for you to receive your admissions from, there were three payment options. The first was through my bank card, the second was through bank transfer, and the third was through cryptocurrencies. I could easily pay to send you a text message you would receive on your device using cryptocurrency as of right now. That is a good, that is a service. There are some e-shopping platform, online shopping platforms that I know of that currently accept cryptocurrencies. Uh,
I think Amaka is using Isaac's hotspot, so it's affecting his network a lot.
Oh, I don't know what is doing my network, honestly.
Disconnect Amaka from your hotspot, Isaac. Disconnect Amaka from your hotspot.
Amaka be doing her worst always. No problem. I've disconnected all devices.
Yeah,
It's still bad. Well, anyways,
yeah, but you're audible now. You
yeah.
can go ahead.
So easy trend. These are just some examples of.
All right, Isaac, let me just take that on your behalf. So, Easy Trend, to answer your question, there are a handful of applications and companies out there that you can actually use your crypto to buy stuff from. I think one of them is Bitrefill, which you can actually use to buy recharge card and a lot of all those stuffs, right? And then I think in different countries, depending on where you are, you would see some stores that accept Bitcoin and all of those, although it's not yet an official legal tender in a lot of countries. But in some countries, I mean, no one stops you from accepting that. I mean, even you could open a store, right, and be like, yeah, you accept Bitcoin and all of those. The government is not going to arrest you or any of those, right? And then even beyond that, the good thing about crypto is that if you're in a place where you can't directly spend your cryptocurrencies, you can always convert it back to fiat currency. That is paper money, right? So if you go on P2P, the way Mohammed was, which Mohammed mentioned when he was asking this question, you can actually go there, convert your Bitcoin, your Ethereum, or whatever it is you have, right? And then convert it to Naira and then go and spend it there. The only advantage to holding these currencies over your traditional currencies like your Naira, dollars, and all of those things is because they are highly affected by inflation. And that's because of the fact that it's centralized, is centralized, right? The government can go and then they can go and just print more Naira, more dollars, whatever currency they want to print, right? Which kind of devalues the currency generally. So I don't know if this answers your question. Is it trend? Is it trend? Does this answer your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Does anyone have any other questions?
Yes, I do. I do, sir.
All right. Sorry, Ikechukwu. Sorry, before you
Yes.
go, Gemzy had his or her hand. I don't know if he or
All right.
she hand open, so up. So after them, you'd go. So Gemzy, please introduce yourself and then ask your question.
Hi, good evening. Can you all hear me?
Yes, Gemzy, you're audible.
Yeah, my name's James Bovea Kubo. You get that?
Oh yeah, I did. I did. It's good to have you
My,
here.
thank you so much. My question is Bitcoin truly decentralized to 100%? Like, because we've come to realize that Bitcoin has been having a factor of change going up and down recently. So, and if
Mhm.
that, I want to know the factor that determine the price of Bitcoin. That's my question. Thank you.
Okay, awesome, awesome. So to answer your question, right? As far as everyone knows, um, Bitcoin is actually decentralized.
So
So
sorry, I cannot hear you very this time.
regarding the market fluctuating and all of that, it's because of the fact that cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin and the like. Okay, can you hear me now? Am I audible
Yes,
now?
I
Can you
can
hear
hear
me?
you. Yeah, sure.
Hello?
All right, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Guys, please, while I'm answering this question, if you check the yes, so please, while I'm answering James's question, Glory have shared the link leading to X about this class. So please interact with it. Just let us know what you've learned so far, what you're looking forward to in the next class, and all of that while I answer James's question. So yeah, the reason why the market has been the way it is because of the fact that crypto is no longer the way it used to be. So initially, a lot of people had um, a lot of people were very skeptical about cryptocurrencies, right? You had people like Warren Buffett, you know, say crypto is this, crypto is that. I think even I think even Donald Trump himself at some point didn't believe in in crypto, Bitcoin specifically. But the market has grown over time. So now we have institutions going into the market. We have institutions like um, Bitwise. We have people like BlackRock going into the market. We have countries, right, adopting this currency, right? So now there's a lot of money in the market and there are a lot of big players in the market. And one thing that I would see in the market is a lot of those people trying to maybe manipulate the market for them to be able to buy Bitcoin specifically at a very cheap rate. But one of the major things that have affected the market in recent time, which is why um, you're seeing that much fluctuation, is due to the AI race that is currently going on, which I think China recently caught up with the US with the release of DeepSeek AI, yeah, DeepSeek R1 as a reasoning model that was released a few weeks ago, right? And then even beyond that, I think as at this morning or last night or thereabouts, there has been a trade war between Canada and America, right? And this is something that has also been affecting stocks. I think the one for the DeepSeek AI model that came out, large language model that came out, I think companies like Nvidia suffered huge losses. I think in one day, Nvidia lost about $583 billion, if I'm not mistaken, right? So some of these things are things that are affecting the market currently. And if you've been in the blockchain or crypto space as long as I've been in the crypto space since 2014, by the way. So you would notice that a lot of times you will see cryptocurrencies, right, being affected by what is going on in the stock market, right? So that's what's happening. But that doesn't mean that Bitcoin is going anywhere. No, Bitcoin is actually not going anywhere because I think once there's a financial crash, which people like Robert Kiyosaki has been talking about, we're going to see the likes of Bitcoin and gold go up in value. So I don't know if I answered your question, Jamesy.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Yeah, bullish holder. It looks like DeepSeek has taken over, but I think we're just starting the race. So I think it's too early to conclude, but we'll find out in the coming days and months. Guys, as I mentioned, I'm still going to share the link again in the in-app message. Please interact with these tweets that we have on LinkedIn, on Twitter rather. If you have questions, what you think about the class, what you're looking forward to, so we can be able to evaluate some of these things and see how we can improve the class, maybe for the next lecture that is going to be going on. So Ikechukwu, I think I'm just going to take Ikechukwu's question and then one other question, and we're done with this particular lecture. Please, if you have not signed your attendance, please do so. And yes, aside from the attendance, please interact with the link, the link I shared that is on X and all of that. Some of these things, activities are things we're going to still use to further evaluate those who participated in the class. So yeah, Ikechukwu, please go ahead with your question.
All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Noah Ikechukwu, and the question I have is, for the past 2 days now, no Bitcoin has really fallen. And this fall has greatly affected other altcoins. Like they are also falling, and they are falling even greater than Bitcoin. So my question is it safe to say that these altcoins, they are built on Bitcoin blockchain, or they operate independently? Because from every other signs I'm seeing, it seems they don't operate independently. They depend on Bitcoin. So that's my question.
Okay.
Hello?
Okay. That's a great question. Yes, I heard you. I heard you, Kitschko.
Oh,
That's a great question. So to answer your question, right, they don't exactly easy trend. I would answer your question about DeepSeek. So they don't exactly work hand in hand, but a lot of people will tell you that Bitcoin is king, right? And then Bitcoin is decentralized, right? Unlike these other guys. Ethereum, for example, we know who are the developers of Ethereum, right? We know Vitalik, BNB, we know it's Binance, right? And all these other guys, we know who is in front of it, right? So people trust Bitcoin more, right? So whatever happens in the Bitcoin market, right, automatically affects altcoins, right? That's why you hear that even before you have an alt season, first of all, Bitcoin would have that bull rally, first of all, right? So Bitcoin is going to first of all go to its all-time high and all of that, and then that's when people can now start redistributing money into altcoins, right? So somehow, to a degree, altcoins are dependent on Bitcoin being successful or whatever, but they are not exactly on the same chain.
okay.
So Ikechukwu, I don't know if I answered your question.
Yes, you've answered it. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. Easy trend. You talked about DeepSeek. Yes, I think for DeepSeek, I was trying to answer the question. I think that was Gen Z that asked that question about I think the market's going down and all of that, which my response to that is that it's due to, firstly, the trade war that is kind of going on between the US, Canada, and I think Mexico. That's one thing. Then I think the first thing that affected it was the the advent of DeepSeek, which is a Chinese company that released their own large language model. So for those that don't know what a large language model is, it's the technology that your ChatGPT, Gemini, and the rest of them are built on, right? So, and before DeepSeek, a lot of investors, especially in the US, right? I mean, if you heard about the Stargate project, right, you hear that SoftBank is offering the US government $500 billion within the span of 5 years for them to be able to build artificial intelligence infrastructure in the US, right? So before DeepSeek, a lot of people have assumed or believed that AI systems are very expensive. And for one to build one, you would need a lot of money for that. And then DeepSeek came around and they changed that entirely. Something that's OpenAI, which is the company behind ChatGPT, spends hundreds of millions of dollars doing. DeepSeek spent about, I think, just $5.6 million, right? So that kind of moved investor sentiment around that. And since a lot of people started selling stocks belonging to US companies like Facebook, currently known as Meta, and all of those, it started affecting the cryptocurrency markets. So yeah, that's that about DeepSeek. But I'm sure if you go online and check, you'd see a lot of information about it. So I'm going to take one more question, and then we're going to end the class. Before I take that question, please, by show of hands, can you indicate if you have um, signed the attendance and if you've interacted with the post I shared on X? So I'm going to share both of them again for those who haven't, so that you can do that right away. As I said, the attendance and some of these other things are things we're going to use to evaluate those that participated in the class completely, for them to be able to qualify for the certification that we're going to get at the end of this. So I just shared it again. So Farida, I can see your hands are up. So Farida, please go ahead and ask your question.
I have. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I don't know if you are aware, but your camera is turned on, Farida. So I don't know if that's something you want that.
I am new to Zoom. I don't know how to. I'm not familiar with it, so but
Okay, no problem. Would you want me to stop the video recording? Hello, can you guys hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you.
I can hear you. I think if she tap on the screen, she will see where beside where the mute mic is, you see the start video.
hello, are you with me?
Yes, Farida,
I
I can hear
said
you.
I am new to Zoom. I will check on how to off the camera, and I've not signed the attendance. I just
Okay,
joined it.
I've shared the link again. You will
Okay.
see where you have I think like a text box or something that they wrote chats. You see chats on your screen. So if you check there, you see two links
Oh,
that I shared. So you can use that to interact with the post on X and then to fill the form.
okay. Thank you.
All right. Ikechukwu, I can see your hands are up. Yeah, go ahead, Ikechukwu.
Okay. Yeah,
Or
okay.
Ikechukwu, is there a
Just to signify
question?
that
Is there a
not a
question?
question. No, not a question. I thought you
Okay,
said
yeah,
we
go
should
ahead.
raise up our hand if we are done with the two
Okay, it's
tasks.
fine. Okay, awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. David Simon, do you have a question?
Yes, I have a question.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, sir. So my question is, there was a certain time that the Nigerian government they wanted to stop P2P in Nigeria. So I want to ask if my question is about the decentralization and the decentralization. So that is, if without the Nigeria converting their money to naira, because that's something that you cannot purchase with cryptocurrency in Nigeria, so you have to convert your money to naira before doing that. So I think from my end, I was thinking that was actually a centralization, or they are being kind of having authority over us. Then, if they want to stop P2P trading now, I think most of people will not go into crypto, because even though you should do it, you'll not be able to convert your money to your local money to be able to purchase for things in Nigeria. So I don't know if that actually is centralized. I don't know if you get my question, sir.
Yes, I absolutely do get your question. Yes. I think I remember the time you're talking about. But one thing you should know is this, right? Due to the decentralized nature of cryptocurrencies, right? Bitcoin and the rest, it's very, very hard and difficult for any government to stop. If it was something that could have been stopped, I can tell you that the US government would have probably been the first to even stop it, right? But if you see, they are still trying to find a way, to even tax people on their crypto, right? So because of the fact that it's decentralized, the only thing that the Nigerian government or any government can do is block platforms that allow P2P. Let's say, for example, Binance or Bybit or any of those guys, because they can flag the IP address of that particular website or that app. But then P2P, they just start with exchanges or platforms like
Sorry, sir. Your network is breaking. Your voice is
right?
breaking actually. We can't hear you clearly.
No, no, this thing, no, we did one class, why I did.
Okay, can you hear
Yes,
me
sir. We can
now?
hear you now. Clearly now.
Can you hear me now? Am I audible?
We can hear you,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah, audible. We
All
can
right.
hear you.
So as I said, right, it's very, very hard for any governments, right, whether Nigerian government or a foreign government, to stop. All right. So as I said, it's actually very difficult for the Nigerian government or any government in particular to stop Bitcoin. And that's because of the fact that it is decentralized. The best they can do is to stop Nigerians from using certain platforms by blocking those platforms' IP addresses, right?
More network.
Isaac, are you there?
Yeah. So I didn't really catch what David was really answering at that point. But I
Okay,
think
someone
David
asked.
was talking about, okay, yeah, please, the question. I think he was talking about stopping P2P or something.
Yes, that's the question he was trying to answer.
Okay, so what in specific was is it like the government stopping it, or let me know the direction I'm taking with the question. Please, can you come again?
Okay,
I
okay.
can't remember.
I was about to ask
Sorry.
a question.
All right.
Okay, I asked that there was a certain time that Nigeria government they were trying to stop P2P trading in Nigeria, and I wish they could have stopped it. It could have more effect, and that some Nigeria will not be into crypto again because most of the things that we are purchasing in Nigeria, we are using the local currency. That is, we are using fiat. So my question now is, in that case, is it not that the Nigerian government, I wish they could have done that. I think they could have a bit centralization on cryptocurrency because if they stop that, they have the authority to stop in their own country. That's why I'm about to ask that. What is the difference? Is that centralization? Sorry, is it that cryptocurrency is still fully decentralization or being centralized? I don't know if you understand my point. My question, I mean.
I don't really get a hang of it, but I think the direction you're taking is you're trying to find out if the government stops P2P, crypto is still going to be centralized or decentralized.
Yes, exactly. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, so crypto would still remain decentralized at all times. I think the point where P2P comes in play, or what your idea of P2P may not be exactly what I also have as an idea of P2P. So P2P allows you, right, to be able to directly send crypto direct to another person without the need for an intermediary. And whether a government comes in place, I want to say they want to ban crypto or they want to stop crypto or whatever, I think that isn't really possible. The only thing a government can do is to come to the crypto exchanges that people call crypto exchanges, that are like the banks of the crypto space. They're the ones that they can now come to and say, okay, limit your service within our country or don't operate within our country, like the issue Binance had with Nigeria last year, when Nigeria arrested a Binance executive and there was a whole lot of sanctions and funny stories around that time. So the government can ask that particular exchange not to offer service within the country, or they can ask the exchange to stop that P2P service that's on that exchange. But crypto itself basically is still decentralized. I can still install Trust Wallet in Nigeria and send crypto to whoever it is I want to send to, and it would arrive in their wallets. They would be able to get it. The whole system will work as if nothing changed. The only place government can limit the transaction or the use of crypto is either they go through the centralized exchanges that provide the service and they serve as the banking system of the crypto space, or they go through the banks directly. And where they go through the banks directly is, for instance, you want to exchange your crypto now to Naira. You want your crypto to come out in Naira form. In Nigeria, we've not even finished adopting digital money. Not everybody even accepts POS payments. You go to some people, they don't accept it. So when you want to get it out in Naira, that's another place where the government may say, okay, they want to tackle it from that point. And what they did was, firstly, by stopping card payments. There was a point where I think as of, let me see, 2019, 2018, 2017, even early 2020, you could buy crypto directly with your Naira card, with your Zenith Bank card, ATM, your Access Bank card, GT Bank card. You could directly buy your cryptocurrencies on your centralized and decentralized exchanges. But within that time, the first crypto sanction that happened in Nigeria at 2020, that was when the government now stopped that service where you couldn't buy cryptocurrencies direct with your bank cards. So this is one of the things I talked about in the class, where we're talking about the government having too much power and control and being in the middle of your transactions. But they cannot stop the P2P, the direct sending service, and the support crypto has itself. They can just limit some few places. They can just tackle it from the exchanges. They can tackle it from the banks. So I hope I answered your question well.
Yes, sir, you did. Thank you so much, sir.
All right. You're welcome. You're welcome. Welcome back, David. All right, David, you're muted. I think you're muted. You can unmute yourself. I believe we've answered the last question. Does anyone else have any question? All right, so thank you very much. I believe everyone have signed their attendance for the day. If you've signed your attendance, that's very awesome. And I believe you've also interacted with the post we have on Twitter. You should drop your comments, your feedback on the class, and say something about the class. So that's amazing. Our next session is on Thursday. We have our next section on Thursday where we'll still be tackling the introduction to cryptocurrencies. And we have Onions Man as your next lecturer, an amazing teacher. He's going to teach you about Bitcoin, and he's going to talk about the mystery of Bitcoin's founder named Satoshi Nakamoto. Who is Satoshi Nakamoto? Nobody knows his real identity till today, and he holds almost $47 billion worth of Bitcoin. Yeah, almost $47 billion worth of Bitcoin. That's Satoshi Nakamoto. I'll be talking about him in the next session. So thanks everyone for staying to the end of the class, and we'll have a lot coming up within the week. Look forward to our materials, resources, and we also have quizzes and some interactive stuff coming on within the weekend. So it's nice having you all in the session. Do have an amazing evening. You can mute yourself and say good night or whatever message you want to drop for us. Thank you and stay safe.
All right. Good night. Good night. Good night.
Good
Thanks for the
night,
Good
sir.
class.
night,
Thank
everyone.
you, sir.
Good night, sir.
Thank you.
Good night. Good
Thank
night.
you, sir.
All right. Thank
Yeah,
you.
Jen, thanks for
Good night,
having
sir.
me.
Bye.
Good night, everyone. Take care. See you in the group.
All right, sir. Good night.
Yeah, thank you. Stay safe, guys. Have a good night.
All right, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Good night.
Easy trend. Take care. And everybody, please avoid Amaka. Stay away from Amaka.
All right, sir.